frankly amazing little piece of engineering.
We're out here in Kyneton in regional Victoria, and this is the first round of the new Aus X Karts Championship. I think that's what it's called. Mix of Rallycross time trial, and we are heading out for our first time doing Rallycross in a cross kart here in Australia.
It seems like they blend a lot of different exciting things in motorsport without any of the rubbish stuff. So like, we were really keen to have a go in one, and here we are. We've teamed up. We've got our cross kart. What's the appeal, Molly? Why do people do this?
These cars are really fun to drive. It's like a really big go-kart, but one that you have to drive from the rear, and it's just so much fun. And then put 7 or 8, 9 on the track at the same time, and even more fun.
They're fast.
Yeah.
Like 750 cc's or up to 1,000 cc's. They sound awesome, and they just drift everywhere. They're slidey, they're oversteery, there's a lot involved in the setup. They just look awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get stuck into it.
So it's race day. Yesterday we had practice and quali and one race, but we had some slight engine issues with our cross kart. So we did practice and kind of quali and had some issues, and then couldn't do the race.
As a general rule, engine oil should remain in the engine and not out of the engine. But what we had was a little too much of the latter. So very expensive specialised engine oil coming out of the engine through a broken gasket here, and also a flattened O-ring down here. Which meant that you could not continue.
But being the awesome community that it is, Dave's just lent me his kart for the day. So we just swapped the top on, and now that kart is going to be mine for the day. So we're just about to go out and have a practice. Yeah, we get to fight for another day.
The one thing that is very similar to rallying is just when you think it's going to be a pleasant weekend and standing around in shorts, and it suddenly turns Baltically cold and windy, and anyway, we can get used to that bit. Molly, what's the plan for the year? Are we going to do some more of these?
Well, yeah, I mean, we had a big meeting and sponsorship pitch at Mag Garage HQ, and they agreed to fund one round.
I hear they are
Yes.
a real tough nut to crack.
But if you send this to 1 million of your friends and they all watch this video, then I think we could definitely line up for some more.
Great. And then the question that you were about to answer then, and then I gave you a different one. What's the plan for today?
Fly that.
That's the one. Right, good. Correct answer.
With an early mechanical problem, our first race was actually the second of the day. Conditions were almost perfect, with a little moisture keeping down the dust without making things too slippery. Rolling starts minimised track damage off the line, and as we'd missed out on the first race, Molly was starting at the back of 6 cars. With a gap opening up ahead, it looked like all was not well in the car, and Molly retired with a new problem.
What happened?
I lost brakes. I think the handbrake seized. I tried to go up the inside. I was like,
Oh, we saw, yeah, it's good.
it was so close.
How do you know, like, go on!
Yeah, but then I think that's when after on the right I tried the handbrake, and the handbrake was completely solid.
Thankfully, cross karts are relatively simple machines, and the problems quickly found.
Well, all the fuss is about, it looks totally fine to me. Other than the colour and the pitting and the cracks and the scoring and the warping. Other than that, good to go. Chuck it back on.
Yeah, the right pedal is accelerator, middle one is brake. One at a time, or yeah.
What's the third one do?
So I went for the handbrake and was like, this shouldn't be solid. And I was like fiddling around with that, and then when I went for the brake, and I was like, also no brakes. And suddenly,
You don't need brakes, do you? God, they just slow you down.
Oh, hello and welcome to Mad Garage Tech Talk. So when we did a walk around of Fabio at Simmons Plains, a lot of the comments were, tell us some more tech stuff about the car. So that's great, that's the kind of feedback we love, and we are hopefully going to fulfill that request today. But today it's not Fabio, we're looking at one of the cross karts that Molly is racing. And so let's do a little walk around. I want to do a deep dive into some of the technological features of this frankly amazing little piece of engineering. So this is a YAR car. They are built in Spain. There's a rival brand called 9Kart from Germany. That's not true, I made that up. These are imported to Australia. You can get one on red dirt right here, all delivered. And this competes in the higher class of the cross karts here in Australia, which means it can have up to 1000cc engine, and you can get a YAR car with a 1000cc engine, but this one has the 750. It's a donor engine from a GSXR 750 motorbike, and it also shares the same gearbox as well. So it's a 750cc four-cylinder dual cam inline four-cylinder and a sequential 6-speed gearbox. That all just goes straight in as it comes out from the motorbike, but there's a couple of engineering changes to take that power from the sprocket, the same sprocket which you can change in terms of the size and number of teeth, and that, instead of sending it to a single back wheel, sends it down to essentially a locked rear axle, but it is fully independent suspension. On the back axle you'll also see there's a single disc brake with a 4-piston caliper. You can have a couple different options for those. This one I think is running a Willwood caliper. Suspension obviously for something like this is a huge deal. So lots of travel. These things are competing on some really nasty surfaces, a lot of undulations. Again, like the brakes, there's a number of choices you can have on a YAR car. This one's running Öhlins. You can also have Riga suspension. Also, that's a very high quality system, just like Fabio runs. And I think there's one other option as well. ProTech suspension, which is labelled as YAR Car's own. Obviously completely customizable. You've got all the adjustments you would have on bump rebound. You can adjust the height, you can adjust the travel. Really, really sophisticated. That in itself is an art. You can deep dive into the suspension system on these. The stuff that is built specifically by YAR Car is obviously that chassis. The tubular space frame is an absolute work of art. Most of this car is a roll cage, which is great because two reasons. One, it's very safe, and also because the longest run of any roll cage bar is about that there. It's an incredibly stiff structure, so it's strong and also very responsive, and once you get the setup correct, a really, really awesome little dynamic thing. You can probably hear the the awning around me trying to take off. I think we've just about reached takeoff speed with the wind speed today. So one thing that's unique to the YAR Car is the bespoke suspension arms, and these outriggers are manufactured in stainless steel, which isn't an obvious choice for suspension double wishbones. The reason that's a good thing for one of these cars is because they're racing in close proximity to lots of other cars, and also they flick up a lot of their own dirt. Any powder coating, any paint coating on mild steel or any other sort of coating on these arms would be flailed and stripped off within minutes. Because they're stainless, they can be kept completely bare with no paint coating on at all, which means they look great all the time, and also there's never going to be any corrosion that sneaks in underneath a broken surface coating. So really, really good bit of engineering. Inside, it is a very cozy little place to be. Room for one only. As I say, 6-speed sequential gearbox, so you have the gear shifter, but they also have a handbrake as well, so a hydraulic handbrake. So a lot of the rally car similarities. Removable steering wheel for easy access and quick access getting in and out. And a very basic instrument panel. Really all you need to know is your revs and your gear. This engine will rev to about 16,000 RPM. Peak power is a little bit lower than that, around about 14,000. One thing that these have got is a shift cut. So you can basically flat shift through the gears, which makes them really, really quick, and also it sounds fantastic. The other thing about the GSXR 750 engine is it's an odd firing 4-cylinder, so it sounds mental. Finally, down the front, we've got a bespoke pedal box, so you've got full adjustment. There's full brake bias on there. You've got a set of twin discs on the front with their own calipers, so you can adjust the brake bias. That turns out to be quite a big thing with one of these cars, because like in karting, if you've got too much of the brake going to the back, you can lock the rears and send yourself into a spin, but also they can be inherently understeer if you get it set wrong as well. So yeah, brake bias is a really important thing. And a bespoke, the dearest little steering rack I've ever seen in my life. Worm and wheel steering, non-hydraulic assisted, no power assistance to the steering. It is very real and very visceral. So this one looks a little bit different because it's actually got its shell off at the moment. There's one fiberglass shell that goes over the top to complete the look, but we thought we'd keep the lid off this one just to show you the bones and the ins and outs. Hopefully that's given you a bit more of an in-depth dive to some of the machinery that Molly's got her hands on. Now we all need to do is just master how to get it set up and how to drive it, and we'll be laughing.
Perhaps things will go better in race 2. Perhaps not.
Yeah, it's been an eventful morning. We just tried to get out for the second race. Yeah, unfortunately it came in, I think, after like 3 laps. Still got some issue with the brakes it's just basically only got front brakes and then they're sticking on and then we're losing brakes. So anyway, we're having a look, trying to see what we can do to see if we can get back out there. But well, we're out there, it's fun. Even with not really any brakes, it's still fun. Maybe not the fastest way around the track, but it's good fun.
Final race of the day, our luck took a turn. The car was on best behaviour, Molly was on fire, and the result was a P2 finish. Our first Aus X Karts was a weekend of ups and downs, but there are not many racing series in which a rival will lend you their car on race day. And it didn't take long to see the community and camaraderie is a huge part of what everyone keeps coming back for.
So we finally got a race, finally did 5 laps in a row, and we came from last to second, so I will take that as a almost win. I can't feel my arms, honestly.
Sorry about that.
The last 2 laps, I thought I was going to crash just because I couldn't hold on to it, so I just had to try and manage position at that point. So I got to get back to the gym, but awesome fun, and yeah, it's been frustrating to not get full races in, but every time you're out in the car, it's so much fun. And huge thanks to Paddy and Alex and all the guys from Aus X Karts, Dave and Dale for lending me a car and helping me set it up, and yeah, we finally got there. So
you put up a good fight. Like, it was frustrating in the car almost every time you went out, but you kept fighting, you persevered. That's what everyone does. All the best people in motorsport, and you finally got a good result by the end of the day. The most important question,
oh God,
shall we do it again?
Well, if everyone just clicks this bit here, and subscribes, and we get like 1 million subscriptions,
Yeah.
then I think we can have a sponsorship meeting with the owners of Mad Garage and plead our case.
Yeah, I hear they're real tough nuts
So-
to crack, but we'll have a go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks.
Smooth, Molly.